Data Envelopment Analysis. Data Envelopment Analysis, DA, can be used to evaluate the efficiency and effectiveness of technological innovation projects by comparing their input-output performance to that of other projects in a similar domain. Here are the steps to use DEA for evaluating technological innovation projects. Here's how DEA works. Identify the technological innovation projects. This involves selecting the set of projects that will be evaluated for efficiency. These could be research and development projects, new product development projects, or any other innovation-related projects. Determine the inputs and outputs. This involves identifying the inputs used by each project to produce its outputs. Inputs could include resources such as funding, personnel, and equipment. Outputs could include new products, services, patents, or publications. Normalize the data. This involves transforming the input and output data to make it comparable across projects. One common way to do this is to normalize the data by dividing each input and output by its corresponding average value across all projects. Formulate the DEA problem. This involves using linear programming techniques to identify the best performing projects and to calculate the relative efficiencies of each project. The objective is to find a set of weights for each input and output that maximizes the efficiency of each project subject to certain constraints. Evaluate the results. This involves interpreting the efficiency scores and using them to identify best practices and areas for improvement. Projects with high efficiency scores can be considered as best practices and their approaches can be emulated in other projects. Now let's see an example from Pfizer. In the late 1990s, Pfizer used DEA to evaluate the efficiency of its research and development, R&D, operations. Pfizer wanted to improve the efficiency of its R&D operations by identifying areas where resources were being underutilized and where there were opportunities for improvement. To do this, they used DEA to evaluate the efficiency of their R&D operations compared to other similar pharmaceutical companies. Pfizer identified a set of inputs and outputs for their R&D operations, such as the number of research staff, the amount of funding, the number of patents, and the number of successful drug candidates. They then used DEA to calculate the efficiency scores for their R&D operations and compared them to other similar pharmaceutical companies. The results of the DEA analysis showed that Pfizer's R&D operations were less efficient than their competitors in terms of the number of patents and successful drug candidates they produced. Pfizer used this information to make changes to their R&D operations, such as reallocating resources and improving their drug discovery processes. By using DEA to evaluate the efficiency of their R&D operations, Pfizer was able to identify areas where they could improve and make changes that led to increased productivity and success in the development of new drugs. Overall, DEA can help in selecting the most efficient projects in terms of resource utilization and output generation. It can also help in identifying areas for improvement in less efficient projects. This can help decision makers in allocating resources more efficiently and effectively to technological innovation projects.